Lee Jae-Myung has pledged to improve Seoul's strained relations with Beijing. How might we expect him to do this?
At present, the precise direction of Lee Jae-myung's foreign policy remains somewhat uncertain. We know that in the past, Lee Jae-myung has made some very controversial claims that have risked alienating South Korea's allies and partners in terms of the direction that South Korea's foreign policy might take, giving not so unsubtle hints that South Korea could tilt more in Beijing's direction and away from Washington. We also know that in the past, Lee Jae-myung has opposed the additional deployment of missiles as part of the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System uh, deployed in South Korea. We know that the deployment of the THAAD system a few years ago really catalyzed a deterioration in relations between Seoul and Beijing.
During his campaign, Lee suggested that whatever happens between Taiwan and China is nothing to do with Seoul, and those comments were seen as kowtowing to China. How worried should Taipei be?
Taipei has every right to be concerned, and I think now is the time for the new government, for Lee Jae-myung's advisors, the South Korean foreign policy establishment, really to highlight that cross-strait relations are in South Korea's interest. Any Taiwan contingency will inevitably mean some element of change on the Korean peninsula, not least in terms of the possible redeployment of some of the US FK, the US Forces Korea, stationed on the Korean peninsula to assist in any such contingency. And the reason I mention this now is particularly given the US's approach to its alliances and partnerships in Northeast Asia. The United States, at the moment, prioritizes the deterrence of China over the deterrence of North Korea. But within that, the United States also views the US Forces Korea not as a local force on the Korean Peninsula, but a region-wide force. This shift in what the US calls strategic flexibility of the US forces will mean that any conflict involving China and Taiwan will also involve South Korea and also potentially North Korea. North Korea could view any such instance as an opportunity to leverage the changing environment on the Korean Peninsula.